All right, let's go. I'm about to review this album. I'm gonna try to keep it within 15 minutes, but if I don't, just know, man, I'm giving you the full breakdown. We gonna be reviewing. Definitely hit that like button and everybody do all that good shit. We gonna be reviewing Schoolboy Q album dropped yesterday. So I'm here to talk about it. Definitely Schoolboy Q is one of them creative brothers when it comes to trying things, when it comes to creativity, when it comes to trying things that are different, that are out of the norm of the status quo. When it comes to hip hop in 2024, he's definitely one of them brothers that actually does try. And Top Dog as a whole is a camp that I definitely keep myself tapped into, because that's the type of shit I like. So this is a Top Dog Interscope production. Top Dog is on the label of Interscope. The album is called Blue Lips. Now, here we go. We got to dive into that. So I did some digging. When it comes to the album title, Blue Lips, I could not find the definition that Schoolboy Q has on his screen, and I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can see. This is the definition that he has for Blue Lips. Wikipedia says that this is a definition in the dictionary of blue lips. I could not find this definition that they have, but I will show you guys the definition that Schoolboy has for the definition of blue lips. I think it's pretty dope, the definition of it. If that's in a dictionary somewhere, that's dope in itself. You can have that. Even though I didn't find it, Merriam-Webster Dictionary online did not have this definition that Schoolboy Q has for this album. But we're going to keep it moving. Track number one. We're going to go through this thing track for track. I'm going to try to keep it within 15 minutes. That's why I'm talking so motherfucking fast. But let's keep it rolling. Funny Guy, number one. It's kind of a vibe track. It's an intro. It sounds like an intro. He got this little chant going through it. He got this chant where it's like a repetitive chant he's got going. Then he makes it less repetitive. He kind of changes it up. The beat definitely is soulful. And that's one theme to this album that I do think is dope, that he kept it very soulful. He kept it very true to tradition of hip hop with incorporating samples. We got samples from the 50s. We got experimental type beats as well, which y'all heard Kendrick last album, and he definitely has some experimental type beats. And if you don't know what experimental type beat is, go to YouTube and type experimental type beat, and you'll find out what that is. But track number one, Funny Guy, definitely, if it wasn't an intro, it had to be an interlude. And I definitely think it was a way to usher in this album of this magnitude. When I talk about this magnitude, there was about 5 songs that I added out of the 18 to my playlist, which is pretty good in 2024. I don't hold that against it. It might come back later down the pipeline. I might add some of them other tracks, but for right now, 5 stuck out to me, and we'll talk about those. Number 2, it's called Pop. It's featuring an artist. I can't remember the name right now, but the aggression of this song, the aggression and the energy in this song. This song is a ball of energy, and it makes you want to commit crime. It makes you want to go out and do something crazy. So I kind of like that part about it, because it kind of made me want to rob a bank a little bit. It made me want to drive fast down the road with my head out the window. It kind of made me want to do some wild shit. So that in itself, kudos. I didn't add this song to my playlist, but definitely Schoolboy has a few different styles, and he used on this one, he kind of has a few different styles, and you'll notice that throughout this. So we'll talk about that later on. The next track is called Thank God for Me, in which I get it, but the direction of it, I don't think it came full circle for me. I'm going to just be like that. The direction of it, I think that it was lost somewhere in it. And I'm going to keep it short on that one. I'm going to keep it short on that one. No, hold on. No, I'm not gonna keep it short, cause that's the one he had the beat switch. Okay, I gotta look at my notes here to make sure I'm talking about the right shit. So yeah, Thank God for Me definitely had the beat switch. I want to talk about that for a reason because we're starting to see that a lot, especially in that in Kendrick camp. And that, so, and we seen it with Drake and what's his name? J. Cole. That's the guy. We seen it with him and Drake with the first person shooter. Dope. Dope song. But the beat switch, when the beat switch, it went into the Chicken Head. Project Pat went back to the sample. They basically remade the beat to Chicken Head. So hopefully somewhere DJ Power and Juicy J getting some money from that because they snatched that beat completely. Hopefully Project Pat got it checked. He should have because his voice is in this song. And I'm pretty sure they did because this is a Top Dog Interscope production. So pretty sure they sent them boys a check on that one. But like I was saying, let me go back full circle before I was about to move on. I was like, yeah, the direction. That's the thing. This song is called Thank God For Me. And that's definitely a general title. And you could say a lot on a song like that called Thank God For Me. But one of the things that I noticed, the direction, it just didn't come full circle for me. When the feature came on, he was talking about something else than what Schoolboy was talking about, and Schoolboy was talking about some random. It was like random bars, and this is one of them. This is one of them perception things. This is one of them very subjective topics within hip hop, where some people like a certain direction, a mode for the song, and when you go off of that too much, to me, it's just one of them, you get lost in the sauce type thing because this is a bunch of topics. It's just a bunch of shit going on and it doesn't all come full circle. So I felt like that on that one. Blue Slides, that's the next one. And on that Blue Slides, this is one of the ones that I definitely added to my playlist. He's talking that shit. I like to hear that shit get talked. So that's one of the songs that I really enjoyed. It's got a 19. Well, this is from my perspective, in my ear, it sounds like Blue Slides has a sample that's somewhere from the 1950s, maybe 1945 to 50s. That's just what I heard, but it's definitely got an old sample on it. Definitely. It's kind of got like an American soul sample on it that I did like. And that's one of the things with this project. It comes off as very soulful, and I like that. But the thing about it, there's like a slick dichotomy, a contrast between having those intermingle within these hard bass tracks like the next one, which the Yearn 101, the driving bass. And I want to go into this production because this is the single. As we know, Soccer Dad came out, but I'm not completely sure. But from Soccer Dad, I think the Yearn 101. I think that's the next one after that. This beat and all of these beats on this album, they're all collaboration beats. There's not one beat on this album that has one producer. This beat here was produced by, I think, about 4 people. 2 of the people, I think, are very notable. When it comes to Johnny Giuliani, that was a producer I first heard as a YouTube producer. So it's good to hear some of these YouTube producers getting placements. He was definitely one. If y'all look up Johnny Giuliani, he was one of the ones where he definitely had that Southern flavor, but his melodies were so creative, like out of this world creative. You could tell he had to play the piano in church. Like he's on that kind of wave where you hear his melodies and he's tickling that. He's tickling that ivory, as some say. But yeah, Cardo Got Wings. was also a producer on this track, the single, Yearn 101. If anybody remembers, Cardo Got Wings, he was a producer for Wiz Khalifa. Oh, shit. Thank you. He was a producer for Wiz Khalifa. I mean, the gamut. You could run the gamut. Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar. Like, he's produced for everybody. Cardo Got Wings. But I think at one point he was signed to Wiz Khalifa. Now, the next song was called Lovebirds. And it's an okay song. I would not call this song Lovebirds. I would not call this a Schoolboy Q song. It doesn't sound like his song. He's not. There's someone featured, and I don't think I heard Schoolboy on this track for 2.5 minutes. He came in really toward the end. I really don't consider this one of his songs. But it's dope that he's putting on people that I've never heard of, and these are very talented people. We're going to keep it going. Next song called Movie. There's a beat switch. I didn't really like it. I didn't really care for it. I just didn't. It was a great quality song. I will say that. It was a great quality song. Great production, great engineering. Like, this whole album, very crisp. When you put the earphones on, it's gonna be very crisp. Schoolboy Q, his engineers songs. It reminds me of when I hear Lil Durk's engineering. Like, when you hear Lil Durk's engineering, it's a little different than a lot of the other. When you hear others engineer. When I hear Lil Durk's engineering, I'm not talking about the auto-tune. I'm just strictly talking about how it sounds sonically to the ear. And like when he says my classic, when you hear that in Lil Durk's music, it's like, it's a very compressed, and I get that same engineering style from listening to this. It's a very, very crisp, compressed, condensed vocal engineering that goes on Schoolboy Q's vocals. So that's a little bit more technical talk, but I thought I wanted to mention that. But yeah, Movie, I didn't really like it. The next one is called Cooties. It's definitely it's a far out. So I think I classify it as far out, but others might think they might say creative. This is not one of the songs I did add to my playlist, but I did like the unorthodox. One thing about Cooties, and this is one thing just, in general in hip hop, I didn't add this specific song to it, but one thing I will take note from is that one thing that I peeped on this song is that he didn't rap like he did on Cooties. He did not use that cadence, that same cadence on any other song except for Cooties. Like, the beat made him rap and deliver differently. And I can appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons I really wanted to peep this album, because I know his creative process is very unorthodox. His delivery, his cadence, everything about when he approaches and gets in the studio, there's gonna be something that I notice that I'm like, damn, okay. And on this song Cooties, which has kind of a piano sample, and I didn't really like the production, but the thing that I did like about it is the unorthodox delivery and the cadence of which he used, especially on that first verse when he started off and he kept that same cadence going through it. I noticed, I was like, okay, this is track 8? Track 8 or 9, I can't remember. But until this point, I didn't hear that flow until this point. So that's definitely something I like to hear. Number 10 or number 9, I can't remember. It's called Ohio, and it's featuring Freddie Gibbs, man. Freddie Gibbs, man, which I think Freddie Gibbs had the album of the year in 2022. I give Freddie Gibbs album of the year with 2022, with Soul separately. That album, if you did not listen to that album, go back and listen to it, definitely. But Ohio, definitely fire track. Got it on my playlist. I wish Freddie Gibbs' verse came a little earlier, because it was like almost at the end. The song was cutting off when he got to going, when he got to cooking, man. And you got to let that boy go, man. Let him get his 24 off, or let him get his, shit. I know it's a feature, but come on, man. Let the rabbit go, man. So definitely that was a dope song. The next one, I talked earlier about this style of beat called experimental. This one is featuring Ab Soul, and I think it's pronounced Faux. It's F-O-U-X, which I think is pronounced Faux. But the beat is definitely an experimental type beat. It's not the normal, which I like. But this actually, I actually didn't like the direction of it. It was kind of all over the place. I think it's hard to put with the experimental type beat. I think you have to have a clear and concise direction of the song, because the beat is so, like, it's just so unorthodox that I think the vocals over beats like that have to be really clear and concise. And I think that's something that K-Dot did well when he gets on these beats. He keeps it in a box type of thing. So if you're listening and the beat's all over the place, then the vocals are not. So that's one of the things that I did not like about that song. The next one is called First, and I just didn't like the concept. It's called First. It goes something like, I was the first nigga to hit. I was the first nigga to buy you the bag. I was the first nigga to buy you a car. Like, that type of shit. I hit it first type shit. Like, that Ray J, it reminded me of Ray J, and I just didn't like the concept, so I turned that shit off. I ain't gonna lie. Next song, Nunu, beat, boom, pap, / experimental a little bit. I think I call it / experimental just because of how the drums were kind of chopped up in there. It was okay. Back in Love, fire. It was fire. Monotone flow, in which this is another bag that Schoolboy gets into. I think this is another bag that he gets into where he kind of does this monotone flow, but it's over some bass. Like, it'll be over a dope beat, and he'll do this monotone flow like, I don't think like, but I think the contrast I do like with that flow, that monotone flow. I think it's best. Less is more, and it's best used sparingly. It's like the food chart. You remember in school you had the triangle, the sweets at the top, and then it go down and shit. You get more of this and less of this. That flow I'm talking about is right at that top crest of that food chart, and he definitely doesn't do it all the time, so he uses it sparingly. So I think it was dope. Lost Times, dope. Drumless. If you into drumless music, not all the tick and all that. If you into flows, or if you into beats like that, you definitely would like this. Soulful, drumless, of course. He was talking that shit. I like that song, Lost Times. I got that on my playlist. The next one's called Germany 1986. No to the beat. I'm going to leave it at that. No to the beat. I think the lyrics I would have listened to more if I liked the beat. But the beat, it just didn't do it for me. Time Killers, fire beat. One of my favorite on the album. Dope. It's got a little fast tempo. The BPM's kind of up, and I liked it, man. I really liked it. Pig Feet. He goes back to this aggression, and that's one thing. If I could visualize this album visually, if I made a hand gesture of all of these songs I'm going to, he's going like this. Aggression. No, we're not aggressive. No, we're going to keep it right here in the middle. Aggressive again. And this Pig Feet is aggressive. The energy is not really my style of shit that I like to listen to. But if I'm in the car, I like to listen to it. When I'm riding and I got that JL back there hooked up to that amp, I like to listen to shit like this. So definitely, man. And the last one is called Smile. Dope concept. I like the lyrics to that song. And really, that's all. I'm in what, 20 minutes, man. I did as good as I could, man. We at 20 minutes. YJ, this has been my Schoolboy Q Blue Lips album review. Tap back in, man. YJ, I'm out.